Wow, boy, you're just seeing the tops of heads.
Yeah.
Are we welcome to live? Yeah, we are live. We are live on YouTube.
Swing it down a
Hey
bit.
guys.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube now.
Yo,
Yep, we're live on YouTube now. And
get your tube on the U, son.
you need to get into the picture, Gaha. This way.
Yeah, it's cool.
And what about Facebook?
We're live on the gram as well.
But we face it on live on face. YouTube got the best camera angle in a way.
We're live on gram as well. Gaha, can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bunch
Yes,
better.
we're live on gram and we're live on Facebook. Podcast and the new year, it's first one of the new. So welcome Facebook, YouTube,
And Mizan.
and ding 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 Mizan.
Yeah.
Do you know what you need to do, man? Is just move that. You look like Jesus, bro. Like some
It's
shining,
got a halo around it.
you know,
bro.
halo. Forget. No, but we should off. Oh my god.
No,
No, turn it this way.
Just change.
No, that way,
that's all right.
that way. This way. Look at where my thumb is.
I am turning it that way.
The other way. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, we're
That's
plunging
even more
in a
dark.
bit of darkness, man.
So leave it
That's it.
there.
Yeah, that's it. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. So, choppity chop. Okay, we're live on all the channels. Brilliant. Okay. So, welcome to our Anchor FM listeners out there. Today has been an interesting day for me, I must say. And how was your New Year anyway?
Yeah, New Year was all right. Just spending it with family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a quiet one, but yeah, we just spent it with family.
Okay. And what about you, Gaha?
Yeah, mine was cool, man. I went to a brother's house. Shout out to Shanel.
Closer.
Yeah, went down there, bowled down, and the guy was just had a few people around his yard, so I was just like chilling.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So my one was a quiet one. I reflected, as you normally do when you're my age. You just you reflect on life, and you think, "Oh my God, it's another new year."
You were like, damn, man.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn,
End of the decade.
another decade, another summer." Sound of the funky drummer.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, so and it got me thinking, and I thought, you know what? What could I do different this year than I did last year? And I don't want to talk about resolutions because I think that's a load of twad, resolutions, because you should be always at your thing. Because when people set
Fair
resolutions,
point.
what happens is that you end up with a situation. And what's the situation? That you ain't doing what you're supposed to achieve, and you think to yourself, how can I do this, and how can I do that, and how can I do this? And you just end up you might want to move that side next to me a bit.
And the thing is, you don't need a
Cuddle up.
new year
Cuddle up to the brother.
to start busting whatever
No,
you want to
you
do.
don't. No,
You
you
can do it
don't.
like you said, man. You can do it right now. You don't need a new year to do that.
No, not at all.
But if it helps people, it helps people.
yeah.
Let me say,
I suppose. I mean, obviously, like the end of the year, the start of the new year is like a break point for people. It's where people you give them space to think about what they done last year and how they can do things differently this year. But yeah, you're right. I think like spending too much time on what your New Year's resolution is, and planning things. Sometimes we can spend too much time on the plan and not enough time for the action, and it's just really you got to be on the grind all the time.
action is more important than planning.
Yeah.
Although planning is important, but it comes down to acting it out. Really.
Yeah, and you don't need a new year, or it's a continuous thing. And from my example, is just think about it, but don't take too much time. Take as much time as you need, but as soon as you've done that, get on the action. Literally get on the action. You want to get the ball rolling. So
because that's the real stuff. Real stuff is the action, man.
Yeah.
Because you watch things like Apprentice, and they spend all their time planning, and they waste so much time. It's like, yo, man, just get out there and start doing your stuff. You're gonna waste all this time that you could do like selling the actual goods.
Yeah.
Just bringing in the Apprentice for any man who watch that.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, The Apprentice is a very good show to actually watch, to actually learn new things, learn different skills, watch how other people do it. You can actually learn a lot from other people do things. And you know, sometimes I do question whether the participants watch previous apprentice series because they make similar mistakes.
Of course they do. You have to really watch The Apprentice to apply for The Apprentice.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, because sometimes it's like, you know, they make similar mistakes.
But you know what that just shows, though? For me, it just shows that, you know, we always have this thing, like when we see someone else doing something, we could do it much better. I would do, but when you're under the same pressure, you end up doing the same kind of mistakes and errors, because there's one thing sitting on your couch and looking at people on TV and just go, why did they do that, man? I would do much better. But when you're under the same pressure, then that's the reality of what you do.
But one thing, like, I do realize, and I do see in the show, is that one of the things is that they, and I think this is something we can definitely implement in our lives, or we should implement, is that they start off very early in the day. To be honest with you, so it's like
4 a.m.
4 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. Like the cars are going to be ready by 5 o'clock, and that says a lot about the type of lifestyles that a lot of successful entrepreneurs live. Because really, a lot of the time should be spent, like, you know, you get up early in the morning, you do what you need to do, and you just get on the job, basically. And I think the morning time is something that is there's a lot of blessing, and there's a lot of advantages in waking up early in the morning to get things done. You find yourself having more time in the day, and the more earlier you can get productive, the more things you will get done.
So it's like this, right? So the title of today's podcast is, we're 6 minutes into it, which I should have mentioned before. So the title of today's podcast is How to Lose Friends and Influence Your Real Self. So how do you lose your friends? So this friends thing, I'm talking about people who may be around who are taking away from things that you're supposed to be doing. Is that my one?
Yeah.
Okay. So people who may be taking away things that you're supposed to be doing. The other thing is that you've got things that might be wasting your time, computer games, your friends, it might be vices that you have in your life, and then how to influence your real self. So what are the effective habits that you need? You know, like you've got people like Richard Branson, you've got people like, you know, Bill Gates, you've got people like Gary V, you've got entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, you know, even your local entrepreneurs that you've got, you know, some of us know a local businessman,
local cash and carry man.
Exactly, whoever it is, we know someone, right? So, you know, for us, it's like, okay, so how can we mirror this person? So there's sometimes in life where you get stuck, and the best way to come out of it is to mirror someone else. And say, look, that's how I want to be like. That's who I want to kind of emulate to go to where I need to. So you choose someone with a similar pathway that you've had. It might be you've gone through a few struggles in life. It might be that you've had a situation where you face difficulty, you know, in a certain scenario. It could be anything. So how can you overcome that? And you need lessons from other people to do. That's like a mentor, choosing a mentor. So there's a book I found really great called The Tribe of Mentors, and you might want to check it out. You got Tribe of Mentors. It's up there somewhere in the thing. Oh, don't pull it out there. Cuddle up a bit.
Oh, boy.
Don't give it.
Don't know if I want to do that, man.
Everyone.
Don't know if I want to do that, bro.
So there's that. So you got to kind of mirror people. So what are the effective habits that you feel that you need to move forward? There's some things that stop, some things that are barriers for you, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, what am I going to do? So let's deal with that question.
What do you need to move forward? Right. Well, basically, it's your mind state, I would say, is you know what I'm saying? This is why one of the reasons that people still don't achieve, including myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I'm no successful in all areas, blatantly not. But if you're bringing the same mind to a new year, do you know what I'm saying? With new goals, with new styles, you're not gonna really get there, because you need to know that the same mind that you've always had hasn't got you those goals that you want. So you need to bring something new to the table. That's how you move forward. You have to let go of the things that are standing in your way, get rid of those, and acquire the new things or the new skills, attributes, whatever it is, to move forward, to get what you want to do. So that's what it is. But what I'd always also say is that everyone's got their own kind of thing about success and what they want to do. One person's idea of success is not someone else's.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? For some people, it may be, you know, create a lot of money. And that's cool. You know, no judgment. If that's your goal, that's what it is. But for other people, it's not that. It's more perhaps they want to spend time with their family, or they just want to do things, have a more flexible lifestyle. So they have a lot of time for other things, maybe traveling, maybe socializing. So that's the thing. But I think it's about dropping all your bad vices, as you mentioned, or things that are not making you go forward, and adopting.
I think I agree with a lot of what Koha said. You know, mind frame. It was also about, you know, dropping a lot of your negativities and adopting positive things. I also think, like, you know, if you want to move forward in something, from my experience, is also be productive with your time.
Oh yeah,
like time management is very huge. Don't get me wrong, like there's a time and place for everything. We're not saying, like, you know, don't chill out or don't have fun, but there's a time and place for those things. We're all human beings. We all need to enjoy ourselves, but we also need to we also need to take out a portion of our time for our own self-development and for our own things that we need to be productively engaged on.
No doubt.
And I think that's one of the most important things for me, is like how to be productive. And I think that's something that I've learned in the last 10 years. It's an ongoing journey, but being involved in different things has nearly, for me, honed down on what I would like to be most productive in. And to be honest with you, those things are now, I'm focusing on those things. There's a want for me to focus on those narrow things that I want to focus on, those few things. So for example, like, you two know that, like, I love reading, and because I'm feeling the benefits of attaining the type of knowledge that I want to attain, I want to do that even more now. You understand? I spend a lot more time doing a lot more reading now than I did before. It's because it's benefiting me, and it's not just benefiting me. Knowledge transforms you. Beneficial knowledge transforms you, and when you feel it, when you feel the power, you just do it now. Because, like, so for example, like after work, I just want to go home and read. You understand? And this is,
I thought you were going to say you want to go home and have a shisha.
yes, that's exactly, I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you guys are thinking, but that's actually I've actually limited that a lot more now. It's actually gone down. And what's gone up is the reading and just the listening to the lectures and listening to the Quran and stuff like that.
Wow,
that's gone up. And you know, so sometimes certain people can't believe it. Like they message me saying, "So Miz, what are you doing after work?" I said, "I'm going home." They're like, "Really? You going home?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I want to go home and do some reading." But I'm getting, because I'm really.
That's a productive use of your time.
That's a productive use of my time.
You don't need to come close to the mic. You know?
Yeah, for me, that's productive.
So what it is, is that let's put a thing on this. So there was a study done with highly successful people. And just so you know, there was a study done with highly successful people, and they gathered these common traits of these highly successful entrepreneurs and authors and community workers, people who are go-getters and movers and shakers in the area. So number one on that, and let's go through this because I think it'd be quite interesting for everyone. Those people are goal-orientated. So goal-orientated for some people may mean a to-do list. To-do lists is the most ridiculous thing. When you ask successful people or entrepreneurs, how they go about fulfilling their goals and tasks throughout the day, they will laugh when you say, "Do you have a to-do list?" They're like, "What are you chatting about?" They go by scheduling. They commit to things, so they put it into their diary at 8 o'clock. I need to do this. Between 8 and 11, I need to do this action. Between this time, I need to do. So they go by their diary. Their diary is their daily kind of work schedule, their goal oriented stuff. And I tried it because I have a to-do list on my phone, and I've just been so snail paced ticking everything off. And it's like, okay, right, so let me try this a different way. So I started putting in my diary that to give myself leeway, because sometimes you can be a bit lax at certain things, right? So you think, okay, fine, let's put this differently. Let's put it into my diary and say, okay, how can we make this work? So between 10 and 12 o'clock, I got to do this task. So in my mind, I've got a goal during that day, and I need to achieve that goal during that day. And I know that between 10 and 12, I need to do that thing. Yeah. So I put myself under pressure by committing to what I need to do. Yeah. And that it worked. It didn't work for day one. I was like, okay, right. And I did it just to pass that thing. Yeah. But then day 2, day 3, then I started to work, and I was like, okay, this actually works.
Right.
So one prime example was, there was a to-do list. There's an action I had on my to-do list: collect mum's dry cleaning. Yeah, just simple action. Yeah. Collect mum's dry cleaning. For 4 weeks, it didn't happen. For 4 weeks, it did not happen. And my mum's asking me, "Where's my shawl? Where's my shawl? Where's my shawl?" I'm like,
Even the dry cleaner man's thinking, "Rob,
listen." When I went to the dry cleaners, the guy said to me, it was a Wednesday. Yeah, he said, "Is Friday okay for you?" And I'm thinking, next week Friday. He said, "No, this Friday." I said, "Oh, perfect. That's brilliant. It's 2 days." That was last year.
Oh my God.
As in last year, December. Yeah. And I turned up to him yesterday, and I said to him, "Sorry, man, I forgot." He just looked at me like, "Mate, you told me Friday's perfect for you, and like, what you doing?"
You probably hurried up to make sure it's ready.
Yeah, it's like, he goes, "Yeah, I know you're thinking." You go, "Mate."
He's like, "Yo, I gotta get ready. He's coming Friday."
But you have to understand the point I'm making. When you put it into a diary, I need to do this thing, and I did it. Bang, done. Yeah. I took my little boy out, and I said, "Listen, you're waiting in the car. I'm going to go to dry cleaners and get this." And it was done. So it worked for me. Yeah. And I'm kind of a procrastinator with certain things. Yeah. And I'm trying to get out of that. And how I got out of procrastination is literally scheduling.
So are you telling me you're out of procrastination?
Getting out of procrastination.
Okay, that's fair. Because I need to get out of it myself.
One prime example, I put into my schedule 9 p.m. today.
I'll give him that.
Man, innit?
I've never seen him drive so fast.
Whoa, he was cutting up traffic.
I was
beeping his way in.
Beep, yo, man, I'm here.
Oh my God.
But he made it.
Yeah. So I admit, that is a good way actually of scheduling. What's the next
So have a goal. Have a goal. Have a goal, and you have to work towards those goals. Either a vision board or something. Create something that you want to see and then visualize it. Visualizing is a very, very powerful tool.
I've heard about visualization.
Let's quickly go through the list first and then talk about it.
You just want to move on from the first one.
Yeah, we got a lot to go through. We got 10 minutes on that one there. Yeah. So look, okay. The next thing is persistent. Tenacity. Yeah. A lot of successful people, they just don't give up. They don't know how to give up. Shamefully, they don't know how to give up. Yeah. When you, like Thomas Edison, give prime example. Yeah. He failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Yeah. So when you asked him, you failed 1,000 times. He said, "No, I just found 1,000 ways that it didn't work. I'm going to still try," because he passionately believed in what he wanted. There's that passion that he believed in what he wanted. Yeah. So there's persistence. Is literally
Persistence is huge.
Yeah, even
huge.
another brilliant example, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, this guy endured a string of political failures. Yeah, prior to reaching presidency. Yeah, the guy failed. I think it was 7 presidential elections. That's disgusting. Yeah, any man would just like be forget it, man. I'm gonna go and work in Waitrose. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna sweep the floors at
that's the message.
France.
Yeah. But I think one important thing is to say is on this, well, maybe for this section, but changing how you do things is not the same as giving up. It's being persistent.
Oh yeah, of course.
Look at J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
12 publishers rejected her Harry Potter, said this was a load of tosh. Stephen King, one of the best-selling authors of all time, horror authors, got rejected by several publishers before doing anything.
Same with Beatles.
Yeah,
he got rejected a few times.
And it's from those examples, it seems like it's to be, well, however you define successful, to get to there, it's really how you deal with failure that can help you get to the success.
One of the best quotes I've read on that one is something along the lines by Winston Churchill. He's got some ill quotes, wherever you think of him. Yeah. But his quotes take benefit from his quotes.
That's a subject for another podcast.
Yeah, but what he said was something along the lines.
Was Churchill racist?
Yeah, that's the whole next thing. But just take benefit from what you can.
Sorry, man, that's political. I shouldn't say that.
He said persistence, or perhaps even success, is moving from failure to failure without any loss of enthusiasm.
Okay, that's deep.
Smashed.
Yeah. So
next thing, number 3, yeah? Number 3 is inquisitive. Is actually being like wanting to know Wagwan, basically, yeah? Okay. To put it in terms of...
What was that?
Inquisitive.
To wanting to know Wagwan. Is that...
No, I know Wagwan, but what was the main thing?
Okay, Albert Einstein, check this. Albert Einstein, it's not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the question much longer.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Then that can...
He ponders over it.
Yeah, because then that would inspire you or basically motivate you to just learn more and be more open.
No, we're on inquisitive.
Inquisitive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's understanding why things work and how... It's what, like, entrepreneurs, when I started businesses, I mean, when I college, I needed to understand why I was so inquisitive, because I needed to understand the constructs of how it worked. I was watching while I was driving technical videos of how headphones work before I chose a pair of headphones.
Sounds kind of dangerous, bro.
Don't say that publicly.
No. You were listening to the video while you were driving.
No. Let me phrase that. Yeah, there was a video playing on the audio on my radio.
You're listening to the video, bro.
Bluetooth.
That's
what it was.
Right.
Yeah. Let's not bait me up. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So the other thing is that so I go militant into understanding how things work.
Yeah.
You stay with the question and understand why this thing happens and how does it work and what if this happens and this happens. Yeah. So that is one trait that you have that if you want to make yourself effective as a person, is to get that mindset in you.
You need a natural curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity.
Many
man.
Entrepreneurs, they have this attribute that they're just naturally curious.
Yeah.
Very curious, like almost like childlike.
Yeah.
And a child is a really important thing, man. Children, they're very, very inquisitive.
Yeah.
Like there's like look at it, and like the littlest one that I have. Yeah. He's like wanting to get into everything.
Yeah.
And it has no fear, no barrier, no shame. But he becomes a lot more wise of how things work.
That's what it is.
And that's what we need, is to be a bit childlike in our approach.
That's what entrepreneurs and successful people have. They maintain that.
And one of the things is that motivates you to actually understand or try and find out more about whatever area that you're into.
No doubt.
And you can normally positively contribute something and really positively, constructively contribute towards something once you understand it.
Yeah,
to be honest
I
with you.
agree.
If you don't understand the thing that you want to get involved in, it's very unlikely that you can positively contribute to it. It's only with a level of understanding that you can positively contribute something.
And I think that's quite closely linked to enthusiasm. That curiosity and enthusiasm almost go together. because you got that, you're just mad enthusiastic about it. You just want to know, you just want to find out all the joints.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
definitely. And I think that enthusiasm can actually, keep you motivated, keep you energetic as well at the same time.
So let's chop onto this fourth one, yeah. So just for our Anchor FM listeners out there, we are live on YouTube, Instagram, our Freedom Vibe at the Freedom Vibe on Instagram, which is our Instagram page. Do join that. We're on live on the Freedom Vibe podcast on YouTube and Freedom Vibe podcast on Facebook. So look, we've got 5 minutes left for Anchor FM. Then we'll go back with them afterwards for a second part of the episode. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, stay with us. So let's go on to the fourth bit. Yeah, being self-aware. Now this is really important because you have arrogance and a total ignorance of your own self. Yeah, if you're a failure and you're a flop, don't think you're gonna still carry on doing something. Just admit it and say, okay, look, it's basically getting rid of ego. Socrates said,
okay,
this is some vibes in here.
I like it. Going back to the philosophy.
Yeah, for real, man, for real. So look, check this. Yeah, so philosophy. Socrates.
Philosophy.
So Socrates said, "I'm the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is I know nothing." That's coming from Socrates.
Yeah,
because he said even his knowledge was like a drop in the ocean, and then someone else said that as well. Knowledge was like a drop in the ocean. So that's very deep. It's just understanding your awareness as a person. So do I know my strengths? Do I know my weaknesses? Do I know what threats come to those, and do I know what opportunities I can have from those threats? To my
absolutely. I just was reading a recent book of Richard Branson, you brothers know, and he said it is absolutely essential that you are aware of your weaknesses if your business is going to have a future. Do you know what I'm saying? You just need to be self-aware of your weaknesses.
Let's take it. Let's take it. Let's go back to Mr. Election. There was a few politicians that weren't self-aware of what was happening with them. And it was unfortunate because you could see it from sitting where you are, right? And you think to yourself, okay, look, man, do you realize what's happening? And there's a lot of business people that do the same thing. When you talk to them, they don't actually know what's going on around them. A lot of directors, a lot of managers have the same situation.
Absolutely.
Someone could be doing a lot of hard work, and I had this in my last company. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I could have really, but because the guy at the top wasn't aware of what was going on, he wasn't self-aware of his own self and what was going on around him. He was being advised by someone to tell him what to think, and that's what led to certain downfalls in the past. So for me, with even the election that took place, there's a lot of downfalls because when people weren't self-aware of what was going on, they were just egotistically or whatever being tripping on. And you need to understand what you are as a person. So let's chop up to the next one. This is the most important one when it comes to business. I know. When it comes to business, risk taking.
Right.
Risk taking is like a vital key part. It's like I've got that thing on there. Take risks or lose the chance. Sometimes people are really scared to take a jump. They have a fear, a barrier in front of them. It's like, what's stopping you? Do you want to look back at your life and think to yourself, you know what, man, I really wish I did that. Because if you talk to a lot of old people, and I've talked to a fair few in my time, you talk to a few of them, they just come out with regret after regret after regret. So look, okay, so on that note, the Anchor FM listeners, our podcast, our recorded podcast, we're going to go to part 2. So thank you for joining us in part 1. Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, just stay there. We're just going to close down with Anchor FM, and we'll be with you in part 2, but you guys stay here. So thank you very much for listening, and join us in part 2.
Peace.
Okay, so
risk taking.
So when you talk to them, they're like, I wish I did this and I wish I did that, and then they tell you stories about how things happened, and You ask them, do you have any regrets? And it's like, yeah, I should have done this, and I wanted to do this, but I couldn't. And then you talk to a lot of like people our parents' age, and they wanted to do certain things, but because society dictated certain things to them, or because certain fears took place in them, they thought, okay, I've got family and kids and I can't do this, and we're just gonna do whatever I need. They never took that plunge, or you're basically just living to work.
You know what? Yeah, man, you smashed it, because you may have heard of that nurse Bronnie Ware, who wrote a book, Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, and I think number 1 on the list was people said, I wish that I lived the life that I wanted to live, true to myself. And that's what Adam's touching on. It's like they didn't do the things that they really wanted to do, either because they listened to other people and they didn't have the courage to follow what they wanted to do, or whatever reason. But that's like, I believe, number 1. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, there's something Muhammad Ali said, which is, anyone who is afraid to take risks won't get anywhere in life.
Look at Richard Branson. Yeah, not many people know Richard Branson. But if you know his story, you know his story. But with him, he took a risk. Yeah, did what he needed to. Started up the magazine when he was young. And what people don't know is this guy had 14 failed businesses in between that. Like terrible. For Virgin Records was one of them.
Yeah.
There was a few others. Virgin, can't remember. There's a few others anyway. It's epic. Like money losses.
Virgin Pulse was another one.
And the funny thing is, heading those businesses, something like that. I can't remember. I read the book a while back, and it's really interesting because these people, even look, Oprah Winfrey started her own network cable firm, ditched their life of, security within TV networks, and did her own thing. Yeah, you had Apple who introduced the iPhone, which was a massive game changer. BlackBerry was dominating the market.
First smartphone, probably.
Right.
The idea of bottled water was ludicrous. Yeah, it was in the 80s. It was ludicrous. You're selling me water in a bottle. I can get this free from my tap. But they create a lifestyle around this, and they sold it to the public. And I mean, can you? I certainly can't. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So risk taking, very important.
Very important.
You're right. What's the next one?
We have to get back onto the thing first. Hold on.
Yeah, we can just recap quickly once that happens.
Welcome to part 2 for our Anchor FM listeners. Thank you for joining us. We've just concluded the risk taking part 5.
Yeah.
Now we're going on to part 6. So quick thinking and decisive action.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
What's it called? Decisive
action.
Decisive action. For me, obviously, like the thinking part, the quick thinking. When people say quick thinking, you have to be pretty fast on your feet and all that kind of stuff. But that obviously requires a lot of actually thought being basically behind it, and sometimes that might require you to actually think things through in order to basically make sure that the decision or whatever the activity that or however you decide to move, that is the right way to do it. But decisive action is the actual action where where you've pretty much decided what route you're going to go down. Like, this is what you want to do, but that requires you to actually think. And maybe that's where the quick thinking is linked, but it's different as well at the same time. So, for example, like I'll give you one example, just a simple one. It's like you guys know, like when I go, when we go to get stuff to eat, sometimes I literally don't like.
Ask for that. No.
Well, listen.
I've already examples.
I want to hit you with that because I already know quickly what food I want. I don't really waste that much time thinking about it.
Chicken and chips.
Yeah, that's because the thinking behind it has already gone before I actually go into the store.
Okay, that's sick.
That's the point.
Okay. So, no, that's a fair point. And I've been known to take 10 minutes to decide,
Yeah.
But let's
my wife will tell you, yeah.
All right.
My wife will tell you,
When you
sometimes,
yeah.
but sometimes I know what I want. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's what I want. But being honest, my capability of when it comes to food and going out doing things, like this.
Remember?
Yeah.
She decided. She once told him that he needs to decide in the car before he goes.
Yeah, he used to stand there and go.
That's how bad it got.
Yeah, man.
That's how bad. But you know what? That's also a degree of impatience from the waitress and all
I
that,
don't blame
because
them.
they got people they want to serve. So I can understand that. But it's also that they just want a quick
for
thing.
like 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah, but listen,
Anyway,
customer's king. But anyway, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But what I will say with that is the quick thinking and the being able to make a decision. So the quick thinking, that's just speed. In this day and age, speed is a big factor. You know what I'm saying? I've heard like talks of Gary Vee just go, yo, speed is everything. You got to come quickly, man, with whatever you want to execute. You got to bring it. You got to be like the Flash. So
no, not that Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, the Flash, the fast running man, Flash.
That's the Flash.
That's Flash Gordon.
Yeah, you
That's
thinking Flash?
No, but there's another guy.
Are you talking about
the
Marvel's Flash?
No, DC's Flash.
DC's Flash.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking Flash. I was thinking that, but yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew
That's
what you
Flash
meant.
Gordon. Anyway, go on.
So you need speed. Yeah, so that's number one. And speed is huge in this competitive world that we live in. Like whoever can come with the quickest, oh, that sounds very dodgy, but whoever can come with the
I wasn't even thinking that.
Oh, I
You
know.
had to come out with that on Saturday
That
night,
sounds dodgy.
Yeah.
But whoever is the quickest to bring the idea to the market can be huge.
I wasn't even thinking that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, my mind is corrupted.
But
then the second part, decisiveness.
Once the thoughts
something I'll say to Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
He said the one thing he was always able to do was make a decision. Yeah. And that he attributed like that to something of his success.
You just got to decide. Yeah, just decide.
You have to make a decision.
And it's like if you want to do something, just decide.
You have to.
And let everything just deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
Once
you've given the time
yes,
or thought that you need, once you've given it that time, then decide. But don't waste any more time.
Absolutely. And no paralysis by analysis. Yeah, okay, that's what
man.
You know what I mean.
You can forever plan, man. It's just like
that's what prevents a lot of people from making the decision, because they get deep. Oh, I need to know this. I need to know that. Alex Ferguson says that the way the world works is that you have imperfect information upon which you need to base a decision. That's just the way the world works. You're not going to know every single thing about the thing. So you have to accept that your level of knowledge or information is not going to be perfect. There's always going to be a degree of defect or imperfect knowledge, but you need to decide.
So what's the next one after?
So I want to put something in here into this mix is knowledge. Yeah. Knowledge. I'm gonna put an extra one in there, for the next one. Knowledge is understanding your art. Yeah. So let's give an example of that skit that we came out with. So I heard someone sent me some mad video today, some crazy video, and it's about global warming, and there's this guy's interpretation of why we have wind farms. Now check this. I'm gonna play it. Let's listen to this.
Some may have heard about it.
The ocean, yeah. Like, and then it goes all the way down to the shore where there's a power plant, and in that power plant, like the turbines are actually spinning by wind. It's not like being because
so what if it's not windy? Then they're just doing.
That's why they do it in windy places, because the turbines are being spun by wind, and that wind is creating electricity.
Stagnant things.
Yeah,
no, I'm not talking about the ones to generate. I'm talking about the wind turbines for global warming.
What?
I thought that's what they were for, no?
Yeah, because it is for global warming, because they're trying to stop
cool down the earth.
Oh my god!
Oh shit! Is that what he thought?
So this dude thought the wind turbines
were the next thing.
Oh my god!
But no, funny enough, I wouldn't even think of something like that. But now that you mentioned it, I can see how certain people who are not clued up about it.
No, but like,
that's the point. Like, you get clued up.
You're doing a podcast about global warming. Yeah. You're doing a podcast about global warming, and you think wind turbines are cool down. Yeah.
But in fairness, the other man's new. That's why they were cracking up.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, so you got to know. Before I entered into like when I went into digital asset firm into financial services, I had to understand the subject. I had to understand it. So I sat with people. I went into Business Insiders. I networked. I researched. I did a lot of things for about what this financial services is all about on the digital side of things. So in terms of IT and stuff like that, blockchain technology. And I wasn't an expert, but I because I learned from other people and other sources, watching YouTube video after things. What are you for that?
Laughing at the joint.
Yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, so I just just basically you had to perfect your art. Yeah, and it proved that to be okay. Yeah, but my point is that know your stuff. Yeah. Don't go in blind.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you could do. Blind, and then Richard Branson actually advises to do that. Just say yes and figure it out afterwards.
Yeah.
It
sounds like more of a person that just does things.
But just to qualify, make a qualification there. Sorry, miss. What he does say is that, like, for instance, when they went into Virgin Mobile, they didn't really know much about the industry at all. But what they did do, they hired people who were knowledgeable in the industry. He himself didn't know. He himself didn't know much at all, but he made sure he hired people
because
who did.
He saw an opportunity, right?
Yeah, and they believed in his opportunity that they could disrupt the market.
Yeah. And he can also afford to hire people. So
of course,
if you know people in the game, then you know people in the game, right?
Yeah.
So you can then harbor on those skill sets. But if you're on your own, and you want to go into, like, say for instance, tomorrow I went into, I don't know, football, starting up my own football team, freestyle, football team, freestyling football team. I ain't got a clue about how a football team works, and I'll be stupid to even try and figure it out myself. Trying to get, why am I going to put myself in that situation? I'd network, do whatever. I say, look, I've got this idea. Get people on board, buy them into the idea, buy them into the concept, build the concept up from there, communicate the brand, communicate the idea, talk to people, talk to funders, and make it happen.
Yeah, that also touches on the self-awareness that we went through earlier. That you yourself know that, hold on, I'm not an expert at this. But I need to get people who are experts at this on board so that they can deliver the thing.
So the acquisition of knowledge, like however you get it, whether it's like you yourself go get it, or you can hire someone who has the knowledge to actually provide the service, that is very important. And I would say that, just outside of the business framework, like, the acquisition of knowledge is very important for a lot of the aspects of your spheres of life. So for me, like, one of the areas where it's been very beneficial is actually just my community activism, because there's a lot of political issues out there that people are very emotional about and speak on an emotional basis, but to speak from knowledge is very different. And when you're actually engaging with people about these political issues, they might come out with opinions or narratives that you don't know of, and therefore you can't really challenge them or give them the counter narrative without that knowledge. So for me, it's like constantly getting that knowledge is helping me in this area of my life, because it's something I feel very passionately about. Now, you people watching, it can be other areas of your life, depending on what hobbies that you're interested in. Like, I would say, I think maybe some of you will, some of you won't, but acquiring knowledge about that particular area that you're interested in.
Without a doubt,
So what's
move on to the next one?
Good communicators. People who are successful and highly effective, they are good communicators. So getting in touch with your real self, your real potential. Everyone in their own way is a good communicator. They might not believe it, but they are. So look, in order to portray your idea to someone, it's really important you got to communicate the idea. What is it about? How is it going to work? What's the outcome? Yeah. And for that, you need to talk.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to articulate yourself. Yeah. Elon Musk wasn't an exceptional communicator. Yeah. He was an IT guy, a bit of a bookworm and a recluse. Yeah. And he used to say that when I used to stand up for presentations, when I started doing my first few business, that my legs would shake so badly out of just absolute fear of public speaking. Now the guy doesn't care. Yeah, he's quite confident. You know, he's doing his thing. So you know, communicating the idea is very, very important. Yeah.
Communication is huge.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
it's just huge.
You know, from Avery, yeah, to the latest budding politicians trying to get your vote. Yeah, successful people articulate their ideas clearly against people who are perhaps not going to believe in their idea. So the best thing to do is, if you want to do something, try and convince your mom or your parent, whoever it is, yeah, you know, your brother, your sister, or trying to get them to convince your way to come to your way of thinking with a certain idea. Test that, because some of them are non-believers in that sense. Yeah.
One thing I'll just say about that is just to be clear and concise in your communication, so it's understandable. Your goal when you're trying to communicate something is not necessarily to be so eloquent and articulate in all your skills, but you have to take care of your audience. Who is your audience? They need to understand, which is keep it simple, stupid. Almost like, you know what I mean? Just make sure everyone understands. You don't need to use like fancy words, anything like that. The main part of communication is that people understand what you are telling them, and you need to be aware of your audience.
I'd agree with all of that, to be honest with you. The ability to communicate your ideas is very important, and therefore I just agree with all of it, especially what Richard Branson said, keeping it simple, because in certain areas that I'm involved in, there are a lot of people who communicate ideas via either creativity or other forms, and it sounds very complex, and therefore the actual criteria of keeping it simple and understandable for everyone means that you'll achieve a lot more success in getting people to buy into your idea if you keep it simple.
That's it. Because I think one way that some people fall short is they try to come across almost in an ego type of way, because they want to use fanciful words and stuff like that. So people think that, oh, look how eloquent he is. You know, they go for that. They would rather be admired for their rhetoric rather than communicating it very clearly what needs to be done. So we need to be careful. There is an area for people to be eloquent, absolutely. But you need to take care of your audience first, that they understand exactly what you're saying. Cater to your audience.
Yeah. All right. So what's the next one?
So the next one is enthusiasm.
Right.
When you communicate an idea to someone and you talk about your stuff, or you want to convince anyone,
you have to be excited about
don't
it.
sound boring, man. Don't go, all right, I've got this idea and I think it's amazing because, you know, it's going to revolutionize the way people are going to think. There's a different way. Even when I even said this about poetry, yeah? When you're spitting out your spoken word stuff, even with hip hop, when you're, you know, rapping about something, you can hear, even with singing, you can hear the enthusiasm in people's body language, the way they speak. You know, they say presentation. They say presentation is 80% theatrical, 20% content, because people remember the person in front of them, how they articulated the message.
So it's delivery.
It's all about delivery. Because if you can, and I've done trade presentations in the past in my life where my corporate days, you do trade presentations, you had to have a set of articulate flair for people to understand, you know, to actually engage them and capture their attention. Because you've probably seen on The Apprentice, man, people, they just stand there and they're like,
I've seen that.
And all they do is they don't. The other person sit there going, "Okay, thank you very much for your time. We'll get back to you." Yeah. When there's actual fact, you're saying, "Yeah, this is my idea. This is what I want to do." And we passionately believe in it. You know, hand movements and gestures and all of that. I mean, you don't have to do that, but just have it in your voice.
Yeah, just basically sound enthusiastic. If people can't see how your ideas making you enthusiastic, and if they can't see how much you believe in your idea, how can you expect them to believe in your idea?
Well, in order for that's true for a team as well, right? So if you wanna harbor a team, around you, you got to amass the tribe, and get them happy and motivated and get them to work, and build that enthusiasm. Because if you ain't coming from you, they're not gonna want to do nothing.
Yeah.
The thing also about enthusiasm, I mean, earlier I said it's linked to curiosity, but it's the thing that I find about enthusiasm is energy. You know, the energy, like when you go to, like, even when you're talking to certain people, like the other day I was like, yo, shall we do this kind of thing, to a bunch of people, possibly some friends. And I was getting, yo, but you know, like,
Can you just rephrase that, please?
yeah, like,
Use
I
the
was
appropriate language.
proposing that, yo, do you want to do this, like, even something simple, or do you want to go see a movie, stuff like that? And instantly,
That's like that presentation we did.
Don't
when
go there. Don't
What was that?
No, when he introduced you in his VIP Minds mentoring session.
Oh, no, don't go there. Don't go there. But what I'm trying to
say with friends.
So what I'm trying to say is that there was no energy in the reply, no enthusiasm. And I just knew straight away, no one's up for this. You know what I mean? Because there was zero enthusiasm. I was just like, it's almost like you had to resurrect the dead. They're almost like lack of enthusiasm is almost
can kill the vibe. And
it's almost like I almost kind of compare it to death. It's like people who have no enthusiasm, nothing that makes them come alive. Do you know what I'm saying?
So basically, be enthusiastic. Basically,
you have to, man.
So what's the next one?
Let's move on. Quickly moving on to the next subject.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-discipline.
Okay.
Now this is a subject which is really difficult. Yeah. Self-discipline. Why do you keep on looking at him every time I say self-discipline?
No, I don't.
He's just looking at you like that.
Subliminal message there, bro. You're saying I'm
close to the mic, man. People cannot hear your lovely voice, Miz.
I'll come close up when I'm talking.
Okay, so check this here. So, self-discipline is a very important thing. Yeah.
Huge.
In I remember that I used to read people's tweets. I can get up at any time now because I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
Man, you need to be getting up earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, you think freedom is gonna come to you just like that. You gotta work hard for that freedom around you, It means you gotta discipline yourself to get up at 5 a.m. or whatever time it is, that time when no one's awake. You do your thing and you start your day. And you kind of, set the tone to your day. Really, really important. Sometimes meditation helps for self-discipline. Ray Dalio, one of the famous investors, meditation is a very key part of his success, he said. It's actually 30% of why he's successful, because he's able to calibrate his mind and self-discipline. So he may wake up in the morning, you may not want to get up. You just do it, and you deal with it. Getting up and making your bed, getting up and making your bed, is very, very important. That's part of self-discipline. Because you're gonna come home. What's going on here?
Okay. So
it's really, really important. So just making your bed, part of self-discipline. Because that will lead on to that small action will lead on to other disciplined actions. And there's a proven statistic where people who make their bed in the morning as soon as they get up are more likely to achieve their goals and what they want to do in life. You may be working a normal job, doing your thing, but I don't care who you are, you got some sort of ambition or dream of doing something. You may be providing for your family, you may be going on a holiday, you want to work towards going on a holiday, put money aside, do whatever. Small little actions, but just making a bed in the morning and not expecting other people, just you doing that you're more likely to achieve your goal, because that small thing sets your tone for
actually becoming goal orientated. So just making sure that you're focusing on your mind's on the goal.
One of the first things.
It's one of the first things that can help you with your self-discipline, and I think, that's the most important.
It's
thing.
about conquering yourself, as Plato's word. Yeah.
Whoa.
The first and last victory is conquering yourself. The best victory is conquering yourself.
I want to just quote KRS-One as a very short quote just on discipline. KRS-One, the hip hop dude, known as the teacher. I read his book, The Gospel of Hip Hop, and in there he says, remember one thing, discipline is your only friend.
Interesting. Cool. All right, so what's the next one?
I see. So we know that discipline is very important. Self-discipline, it's part of being effective as a person.
Yeah.
So the last one here is perhaps the most important characteristic of successful people. The success comes in many forms. Yeah, it can be a journey, destination. It's never. Success is not a destination. It's a journey of ongoing development as a person. Yeah, but one key thing that no one can hide, and that if you think that you're going to sit on your batty and not do anything, you're a fool. You are a fool. Yeah. And one thing is hard work.
Yeah.
Now, hard work, it doesn't mean working like a donkey and carrying books on your back and saying, yeah, I worked hard. I got up and I worked hard. I struggle, and you got things around you falling apart around you. Your marriage could be falling apart, or you're losing things on other tasks. Multitasking sometimes just doesn't work. Yeah, when it comes to a lot of things. Yeah, so working smart and working hard should be connected together. People think they're working smart by thinking, I'm going to have passive income. There's no such thing as passive income. Yeah, you have to work hard to have that passive income even happen, and it may take years. Yeah, what does that mean? You have to work hard to save money, to get a deposit, go buy a house and put it on rent, and then when the mortgage is paid off, then it becomes your asset, and then you're making passive income. Yeah. Okay. So even you could be doing it on the side as well. Yeah.
And hard work is, I think, that like Adam said, that is one of the probably the most important thing. When we look at successful people, let's just give an example. Like, for example, YouTubers like Superwoman and stuff like that. We see the amount of followers they have. We see the amount of likes that they're getting, these shares, and people talking about them. And you think, yo, you know what? I want to get to where they are, basically. But we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. We actually don't see the whole iceberg underneath the water. The amount of hard work that they had to do. And also, because I'm touching on a previous category that was mentioned, the amount of failures as well that they came across, the amount of rejections, the amount of doubts that they had to conquer in order to be, that they had to conquer in order to get there. It took a lot of persistence, and it took a lot of hard work to get there. There is no easy way of achieving success, however you define it. Success is always hard, but as long as you're consistent and you put in the work, you put in the effort, and you're mentally ready, you will get there.
But there's an author. There's a book called The Extraordinary Mind. Yeah. This guy's thesis on hard work, he says, is bullshit. It's absolute rubbish. Hard work is it's a fantasy. You can alter your environment just by the thought process. Like, you don't have to work hard. You just got to know things around you and network and make it happen. Yeah. You don't have to work hundreds of hours, 80 hours a week. Some people do that and they get to success. Yeah. Some people work 4-hour working week. Tim Ferriss's book. Yeah. And they get a pathway to success. Yeah. So there are various types of hard work. Yeah. But what you can't escape is work. Yeah. Is working for what you want. You can't sit there and think, I'm just gonna relax, chill out, put my feet up on the table and just make it happen and sit in my office. Yeah, man, watch some videos, sip my coffee.
That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I think go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Yeah,
Come closer to the mic.
all I'll say is, this is the action. Hard work is the action, and we already emphasized how important action is. It all comes down to that ultimately. And there is the thing that Adam touched on. People have different theories, but most of the people that I've read about success, they've all talked about putting in the grind, putting in the hard work, doing all of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll just quote another rapper, you know what I mean, since I'm on a roll. This is Guru from Gangstar, rest in peace. And he goes, I've been waiting for your next mistake. I put in work. Now watch my status escalate.
Awesome. I love that lyric. I think like before Adam rounds it up with just a brief
Let me just round up. We're going to say goodbye to our Anchor FM listeners. We're on another 5 minutes on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So to our Anchor FM listeners, thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed this these effective traits for highly successful people or individuals, and how to lose friends, so your vices that you have in life, and know your true potential self. So get on, crack on with it, and schedule your goals into your daily diary. It will happen. That's goodbye from me, goodbye from Mizan, and goodbye from Gohar. Anchor FM listeners, take care of yourself. YouTube lot, you stick around. So okay, so all right, look, man, let's wrap this up here, yeah. What were we saying?
I was just going to say one final comment before you wrap it up. Before Adam just goes over the list again, just quickly lists what the actual categories are.
Let's chop through this, man.
So I think
Let me just bring this up into different mode.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think.
Can you hear me now?
I think one quote that I would like to leave everyone is don't tell anyone your plans. Let your results do the talking.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Nailed up from Adam.
You ready for the roundup? Yeah. Hold on. Is this mic even working? Have I put it on the wrong thing? Isn't it? No, it's working. Hello, can you hear me? No, that's the other side. Okay, cool. So it's cordial. Yes, can you hear me? Yes. Okay,
Connection is
don't worry about
the
that.
YouTube. Yeah, it's all goody.
Okay, so listen, yeah. So
round up.
Yeah, so let's round up our stuff here, and okay, let's do this. Let's go this quickly. Let's wrap this up. Okay, so number one, yeah. Goal orientated.
Yeah.
Have a goal, work towards it, make it happen, schedule your goals, yeah, in your diary, and don't do a to-do list. To-do list will mess your life up. I'll tell you that now.
Okay, number two.
Be persistent.
Okay.
Have tenacity, man. Don't give up. Be persistent, crack on at it. The mistakes that I made in life with some things is that I gave up because I encountered a few hurdles. And if I probably would have stuck at it, I probably would have got somewhere with it. Yeah?
Okay. Right, number three.
Be inquisitive. Yeah?
Mm.
So just wanting to know and understand and immerse yourself in that situation.
Almost childlike.
Yeah, man. Be a child.
Mm.
Be a child when it comes to wanting to do something. It may mean, I want to buy a new house or I want to buy a new car. Really, just understand, what it takes to buy. Do I need a mechanic? What am I looking at when it goes to buy a new car or buying a phone? Buying a phone nowadays is like buying a house, man, isn't it?
It's crazy, man.
It's like so much effort, so much effort in trying to buy a new phone. Like you got to look at
it's
the
like
features.
one of your biggest decisions.
I know, it's actually a big decision.
It's a huge decision.
Oh, but it's good to be inquisitive. Okay.
Why are you impatient?
That's
another thing, man.
No.
You know what? Actually, that's one of the most important things. Yeah, is be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient when it comes to things. Be patient because it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen.
Then we could go around in circles. So
be self-aware of yourself and your environment.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, be self-aware and be aware of your environment. So do a little SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities,
and in yourself as well.
Yeah,
your own weaknesses and your own strengths.
Yeah, of course. That's knowing your environment, immersing yourself, being inquisitive, and take a calculated risk at what you want to do. Yeah,
No doubt.
it's
Right.
different thing because you know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's gonna take too long. Yeah. So just just decide and make it happen. Just decide. So all you got to do is decide and then make it happen. Yeah.
Right.
What did I put in before that? I
Knowledge.
can't remember. Knowledge. That's it. So make sure you have knowledge about what you want to do. That's part of being inquisitive. Yeah. Have knowledge, because knowledge is going to give you power.
Know what you're talking about.
And when you get a power, you get anyway. So number 7 is good communicators. Yeah. Being able to articulate yourself in front of people is really, really important. It could be you talking to your missus, it could be you talking to your husband, it could be you talking to your mother, father, brother, work, boss, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Being able to articulate yourself is very, very important.
One of the things I just want to quickly add that's related to that is the ability to establish relationships and build rapport and relationships. That also comes under, and I think that's huge. What are you saying?
Okay, yeah. So, okay.
The next one.
Being enthusiastic.
Right.
Yeah. Don't be a wet blanket when it comes to putting over your ideas. Yeah. Be enthusiastic. Give people an impression that you love what you're talking about and you love what you do. Because if you don't, I tell you what, man, they're not going to be interested themselves.
And it's almost childlike again. Childlike enthusiasm.
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. For real, man. Straight up. Yeah. Being self-disciplined. Discipline is so important. Yeah. It's so important that, you know, waking up in the morning at a certain time, making your bed in the morning. Yeah. When you get up, make your bed. Don't get your wife or whoever your mom, whoever it is to do. Make your own bed, and it'll set the tone for other stuff, and it'll help you achieve your goals. Man. I'm telling you this now.
So being goal oriented can actually help.
Yeah, that's self-discipline. Yeah.
Self-discipline.
So, you know, if you know your friends are outside, they want to go, so you got work to do, or you got things to do, you got house task, whatever it is, house task, whatever it may be. Yeah. Get that done first. Yeah. Self-discipline. It's about knowing, having your eyes on the prize. Yeah. And the last thing is hard work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people think hard work is a fantasy, you know, utopia that people think that this is what you need to do to slog it out. And to be honest, it's true and it's not true. Yeah. I've known people that haven't worked the concept of what hard work is. They've been very smart at what they've done. They put work in, but they've been smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've been able to utilize all the above that we've mentioned.
You know what? Just a very quick example of what you just said, which I think is very important. And I think Simon Sinek said this, is you may have a mountain in front of you. Yeah. You have to get to the top of the mountain. Some people choose to trek all the way up to the top, but other people may take a helicopter. And it doesn't really matter as long as you get to the top of the mountain. So choose whatever the means you want. Trekking is the hard work. Choosing a helicopter is not necessarily as hard work, but you're still getting there where you want to be.
So basically, just get on top of the mountain.
Get on top of the mountain and use what means you want.
Yeah.
You could take the harder route, or you could take a more shortcut. Just get there.
The most important thing is just put in the work and get there. That's all it is.
So that's very important. Yeah, very, very important. So so hard work is one of those things that you need. Yeah, but you know, be smart, understand your environment and your mindset, man. Attitude is so important. Clicking your attitude into it. Yeah. Some days may be very, very hard to do things. Yeah. And I'm talking about with anything. Yeah. I have some goal in mind. No one wants to work, you know, a 9 to 5 forever. Yeah. But some people like it. They feel secure, but they have other goals. That's fine, man. This is a pathway to achieving those things.
Yeah.
It's the self-disciplining yourself. So I would say 2 things. You know, I want people to take from this. If you could take anything, take away 2 things. Make your bed in the morning. Just try that. Yeah. Every day without fail. As soon as you get up, make your bed.
Yeah.
At least you come home to a made bed. Yeah. Number 2 is, you know, if you have goals or if you want to do something, don't put it in a to-do list. Put it in a schedule into your diary on your phone. I say, right, between this time and this time, I want to get this done. Like, you have lunchtime at work. I'll get that done at lunchtime. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
It will be a bit of a struggle at first, but trust me, it'll happen. Trust me when I say this. So on that note, I want to thank everyone for listening. It was a pleasure having you. I hope you found this session informative. Do join us next week, 10 p.m. live, every Saturday night. And we're on Anchor FM as well. The links will be out on our Twitter page, The Freedom Vibe.
Yeah.
And our Facebook page. Do support us on our Facebook page, Freedom Vibe Podcast. That's Freedom Vibe Podcast. And our YouTube channel, The Freedom Vibe Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our Instagram, The Freedom Vibe. Yeah.
Freedom Vibe.
Yeah. So please do support us, and we're going to come up with some other topics as the weeks go on. But yeah, thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy your evening and the rest of your weekend. And do take away what we said anyway. So good evening, good day, and good night from myself.
Peace from me, Goha.
Peace out from me, Mizan.
Yo, okay, take care. Peace, man. Okay.
Say goodbye to YouTube.
See you later, YouTube. Lot. Oh.